All right.
Yep.
So looking at analytics, we have like 4,000 views on the Artificer video.
Yeah,
so we need to figure out how we can use that same video and all of the content in it and do it again.
Yeah, but we went over the whole class, so there's not really a method by which we can, like if we just release the same video.
What if we gave the same information, but like in a different order?
I think that we would lose a lot of
Oh, we don't have to do it again.
That makes it super easy.
Cool. Hey, here's the next Artificer video. Hi everyone, welcome to I'm so sorry.
Hi everyone, welcome to GameGorgon. My name is Krug.
I'm Indigo.
Today we're here to talk to you about the Artificer again for a third time. What the is happening right now?
All right, so specifically, we're just talking about the changes that they have made / ads that they have done.
Yeah.
So
we can go over the stuff that they had released previously as it sits now. It's the same.
Yeah, it's the same, which I'm kind of upset about.
We did have some complaints and none of them were addressed.
And not only were they not addressed, but I feel that they just kind of honed in on the things that we didn't like about it
and then made more subclasses about
Yes. Technically, the only thing that was changed were the additional spells added to the known spell lists that Artificers can take.
Sure.
So that's the only change that happened.
Yes.
There's more spells. I'm not gonna read them off to you. If you wanna go see them, go down to the description and click on the show notes and you'll see all of them there. We literally have just the new spells listed on the show
They're
notes.
also gonna be scrolling across the screen right now.
No, they're not!
We do have two new additions to talk about, which are two subclasses. The first of which is the Archivist, a scroll writing subclass of the Artificer?
So from what I can tell about the themes that they're trying to go is that each subclass is a different maker of a different product.
Yeah.
So we have potions, we have staves / wands, and so now we have scrolls, which again I think fits with the Artificer like genre and like idea of it. I just feel that they took the idea of, hey, these classes make things,
and then implemented them in a very similar way that doesn't fit any of their like class fantasies whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what this one does wrong. The Archivist's tool proficiencies are gonna be Calligrapher's Kit and Forgery Kit, and they're gonna get one of each for free.
Cool.
Nifty.
Now, for crafting, you're going to be able to craft scrolls for a quarter of the amount of time and half the amount of gold.
Yes, this is specifically when you make a magical scroll.
Yes.
This isn't like you making the paper.
No, it's
as if that matters.
It's usable scrolls in magic casting.
Your list of Archivist spells is actually, I think, really good. It's all about like learning. It's all about psychic damage and just knowledge and like mind affecting things in general, whether that's a positive boon for you and your allies or a detriment to your enemies.
Okay.
I think this is a good spell list, nice, flavorful. If this spell list were surrounded by other things, I think I'd enjoy this a lot. You know?
If this wasn't the highlight of it.
Yeah. If having these spells prepared wasn't my favorite part, we'd be good.
At third level, you're gonna get Artificial Mind, where you basically put a mind in an object and you put a rune on it, basically, and you then get a familiar.
Well, you can also use the Artificial Mind as a spellcasting focus.
Cool.
Your familiar is also unique in that it can't take damage. It's invulnerable, so you don't have to worry about that.
Cool.
But it's a pet.
It can also technically go through enemies.
Right.
But can't go through objects.
Right. And it's invulnerable.
Yeah. This is it literally, and I wrote this in the show notes, and after I wrote this in the show notes, I knew I needed to stop writing show notes and like take a break. Because I wrote, this is literally 4 paragraphs to tell me that you have a familiar.
Yep. There might be some minute differences between it and a familiar that are important to know if you decide to play this.
Yeah, it's really not.
It's not, it's a familiar.
Yeah.
In the overall judgment of the class, this equals a familiar. And it's not terribly exciting. There's a fun little table that it gives you because you, and I will give them the tiniest amount of credit, you get to just decide what the thing looks like, and it gives you a table of recommendations based on the material that your artificial mind is imbued into. But okay, cool. Like,
yeah, and you get skill proficiencies based off of that.
Yeah.
Which is cool, I guess. I mean, okay, I get it. They're trying to make it unique and different, but like, I just don't feel like I'm gaining that much out of this.
It's not that creative. It is slightly unique and different, but it is most of the familiar, and like they stapled some shit onto it.
Yeah.
Which is honestly how I feel like this entire class is going.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue of it is that it also kind of hones down what the player wants to do. Because if the player wants to make an animal, you know, the symbol out of an animal and have it bone, but then have arcane and history or investigation or nature and religion as its skill proficiencies, well, guess what? You can't. It has to be made out of paper or wood to get those.
If I were a GM, I would ignore all those things.
Yeah, so it's like, I hate that's the aspect, is like, oh, I'm forcing you to make it look like a certain way based off
it doesn't
of
make any
min-maxing.
sense. Literally, if you are watching this and you are a GM, ignore that, please.
Yeah, this whole chart.
Do me a favor.
Let your players choose which one they want to be skilled.
There's no mechanical consequence for doing it that way. You're also going to be able to use, I'm just going to call it a familiar, sorry. It's actually called a manifested mind, but I'm going to call it a familiar, fuck you. You're gonna be able to use your manifested mind to make what?
You're like, it's called this, but I'm calling it a familiar. So what it's actually called.
You also get information overload, which is going to allow you to make an attack either from yourself or from your familiar / manifested mind, whatever. That's gonna deal 1d8 psychic damage as an int save, which is pretty nifty, and that is gonna get a little bit better over time.
The key thing to this though is that it has to be within 5 feet of them.
Yes.
You have to be able to see them.
Yes.
And it gives advantage on the next attack against that creature.
Yes.
So I will say I like this. I like it, just this by itself. Take a look at just this one ability.
It's a good ability. I just don't see how it helps this character feel like the character it's supposed to feel like.
I don't think it.
You just think
I don't.
You want to just talk mechanically? I dig it.
Yeah, mechanically, I like it. Fantasy-wise, for what this class is, no.
Cool.
Why? Like, it is psychic damage, so that's nice because then there isn't anything.
You can't build the whole class by saying, oh, well, it's about scrolls because it deals psychic damage. That's not how that works.
No, because you can make a scroll a fireball.
Yeah. This is also going to scale up with your level. The numbers are going to be on the screen. There also is scaling that you can do by sacrificing spell slots.
Yes.
So you can sacrifice a level 1 spell slot to add 2d8, and then for each subsequent level of spell slot that you sacrifice, you gain an additional 1d8.
I will say, I feel that this is the most unique aspect of this class.
And I also feel
because
that
it's both scaling based off of spell
level.
slots and level.
Yes. Yeah. And I think this is a great way to do scaling. Across the board is a little bit like blanket, but this is a great way to do scaling, period.
I think it's a great way to do scaling for spell-like abilities.
Sure.
Not spells. Because
well, and like you can't do scaling of like martial classes like this because it requires you to sacrifice a spell slot. And what is the martial character going to sacrifice? Maybe health, but that's dumb. I don't like that. Cool. Or maybe like temporary AC reduction or something for a barbarian. There's a lot of actual potential here that I think they can try and tap into if they wanted.
I'm just saying, if they want to bring back a class, they should bring back the Spellweaver. That's all I'm saying. Boom, end of sentence. At 6th level, you're gonna get Mind Network, where if another player within your group has an infused item, you can telepathically talk to them.
Yeah, which is cool. It's like a group chat. I'd be upset that this was level 6 if it was the only thing, but it's not.
Yeah, I'm still a little upset with it because you're just like, I could use a cantrip called Message.
Yeah.
And instead of giving your infused item to someone else. Because the whole, like, my idea is if you're making an infused item, yeah, it makes sense to give to another player every once in a while, but I think most of the time you're wanting to buff your own character because I feel that this class is so weak that giving yourself the infused item is more beneficial for the class. Like, I didn't really picture it as I'm building items for you and you and you. Oh, you all get items. Like, I'm
gonna sit here and have a 10 in all my stats.
Yeah, exactly. I imagine it's like, oh, I need to see in dark. Now I can. Woohoo!
I like how you typed on a keyboard for that. Also at 6th level, and I think this is a perfect example of the amount of creativity that went into this Unearthed Arcana, you're gonna get something called psychic damage. It's not that you like automatically take psychic damage when you get to 6th level, because that would be weird.
Just enough psychic damage that you die?
Yeah, it's a feature called psychic damage.
Okay.
And that is going to make it so that whenever you roll psychic damage for the information overload ability.
Oh, okay, so specifically that one, okay.
You can add damage equal to your int modifier, minimum 1.
Okay, all right.
So it just increases the amount of damage that ability does.
So it basically makes me think of the Warlock's Agonizing Blast.
Which it gets to pick.
At like first level.
It's also an option, not forced onto the Warlock.
Yeah.
This doesn't fit very well as a thing that is mandatory, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's too, it's not negligible, but it's not an impactful or interesting enough change, in my opinion. It doesn't affect the way the character plays.
I feel like our attitude from the last Artificer video to this one has drastically changed, and I think that's because we were looking at horse the first time.
We were, that's what I was gonna say.
And then we were looking at like,
just a piece of paper with text on it that we didn't like the second time, which was a universe of improvement.
Yeah, and then now
now that we're like, okay, well now we're gonna be looking at a piece of gold, but it's still a piece of paper with text on it that we don't like.
Yeah.
Which makes us feel like it's horse again.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
I feel really bad because like I feel like we like kind of promoted the Artificer as a really good class, but we had a lot of complaints in the video.
We did.
And I just feel like they're just kind of amplifying those issues.
Let's keep going.
Yeah, I feel like I'd be on this forever.
You would.
At 14th level, you're gonna get Mind Overload. If you spend a spell slot with your Information Overload, it's going to make it so that the creature that you're attacking has to make an int saving throw or be stunned until the end of your next turn.
Yeah, and that's in addition to the extra damage.
Yes, in addition to,
it's good, it's strong.
I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's, you know what, no, I like it. I'm saying that because I feel like I'm just being poo-poo on everything, so I'm just gonna say I like it.
What a great reason to like something. This is my favorite.
Okay, so, maybe I didn't like the last thing and I might like this one?
No, the opposite reason.
Oh.
It's my favorite because it's so weird. So, this is level 14. It's called Infoportation. It's going to allow you to, a number of times per day, equal to your intelligence modifier, have your spectral mind turn you into raw information.
So ones and zeros.
No, because data like that doesn't exist in this.
Okay.
As far as I know.
I am still gonna keep it that way in my mind for now, okay?
You turn into information, which makes you incorporeal, and then you teleport next to either your spectral mind or another player that's carrying one of your infused items. That's what you get to do. You get to teleport next to somebody that has one of your things or your familiar.
Okay.
That's what you get to do. It's so weirdly flavored though. What does turning into information do? What does that do?
Literally, someone was watching some weird sci-fi movie because there's no.
It's just like, what if they just turned into like raw information, dude?
I just don't understand that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because literally when you say someone turns into information, you literally think ones and zeros.
I do.
You think the Matrix.
I work in IT, so maybe my...
No, I don't.
You don't. And so that confirms it. It's not my technology bias. It's literally, that's what it says.
Because what is information?
I don't... The essence of knowledge?
I mean,
there are fire elementals. Why can't there be information elementals?
Because...
Tiaska just laughs at me for off camera. Maybe because information's not an element crew.
Yeah, this is dumb. I don't like this.
I don't like this either. This is poorly flavored, and I don't think
it's flavored teleportation. Because it literally could have just been like you have the ability to teleport a number of times per day, equal to your intelligence modified, to a player.
And honestly, I think a better flavor would be like during every long rest, you prepare a number of scrolls that allow you to teleport that are written in such a way that they allow you to teleport quickly because you just rip them. Like, wouldn't that be cool? You get to make this special item that no one else can buy and you just rip it and it teleports you. And then that has some mechanical, like, ramifications. Because it's like a physical thing that you, so what if someone else rips it for you? Or like, what if you give it to someone else and they rip it? Like, that's very interesting, you know?
Okay.
This has no mechanical impact.
We are only halfway through it.
Okay,
so
great.
Maybe, what is it? The next one's Battlesmith, right? Is that one any good?
Do you like familiars?
Oh, you mean like the other three that we've done?
One eternity later.
All right, so with the Battlesmith, your proficiencies that you're going to get is with leatherworking and smith tools.
You're also going to get a set of those each for free.
Yeah, makes sense. Cool. Like, Done.
Next, your crafting is going to be, if you craft a magic item in the armor category, it's gonna cost you 1/4 of the time and 1/2 of the gold. Cool.
Okay. Why did it specifically armor? Does that mean that they're gonna add a 5th one that's weapons?
I don't think so. The battlesmite spell list is, you know, first of all, I don't think it's as good as the Archivist.
Okay.
First of all. It's more paladin-y in nature. It feels too holy for me for the nature of the class.
So much so that you called it the battlesmite?
Did I say that?
Battlesmite.
At 3rd level, you're gonna get battle ready, which I like.
Yeah.
I will say, but I'm confused about the theming behind this since this is supposed to be a defensive one.
Sure.
So you get battle ready, which means you have proficiency with weapons, and if you're attacking with a magical weapon, you're going to add your int modifier to attack rolls and damage rolls.
Martial weapons.
Martial weapons specifically. But, so the thing I'm confused about is if this is supposed to be a defensive class, why at first, like, the first thing I get is, hey, you're better at attacking?
Great question. Don't know. I think it's because damage output is easier to scale than defense.
Sure.
That's my suspicion, just based on like reading through books in general.
But like, I get that, but the issue I'm having is this is all about defense. You get proficiency in making armor.
And then you get proficiency in martial weapons that you can't make.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah, I see the shortcoming there. That having been said, I've always wanted more characters that are int attackers, right? Because I think
the idea of it fine. I just don't think it. I think we had the same conversation with the previous one, which is we like this.
Yeah.
We like it as a mechanic. We don't like it for this theme.
Yes, I just like, even outside of all that, I just have always wanted more int attackers because I think it makes sense. Like, I'm not particularly dexterous and I'm not particularly strong, but I know where to hit you because that I've studied you by looking at you for this brief period of time, and in that amount of time, I've gathered so much information that you're f***ed.
I feel that
basically.
I feel that this works better for the artillerist.
Yeah, I'd buy that. I'd super buy that. At 3rd level, you're gonna get Iron Defender. It's a little dude that follows you around. It has its own stat block. It has a melee attack. It has a self-heal. It has scaling. Every time your proficiency bonus goes up, some of the stats also go up of the thing. They're all listed. I'm not gonna read them.
So it's the same as the homunculus.
Basically.
Because the homunculus went up based off of your proficiency.
The difference with this is that this is going to proc things for you. It does have a really cool reaction though. It just gives an opponent within 5 feet disadvantage on an attack against an ally that isn't itself, right? So it can't protect itself, but it can protect its owner or like its owner's buddies really well. I think that's useful and cool.
Yeah.
I just don't like the fact that it's attached to a pet.
Yeah, and not the player.
And not the player, because the player's the one doing the defending. Why is the pet the thing that's defending?
Especially since you're stuck with martial weapons.
Yeah, I don't know why these are pet subclasses. I really don't get that. I don't understand it.
Because, don't you understand, the Artificer is a builder. They make things, so clearly everything has to be...
It's literally like they don't understand that you can have consumable items that are limited without destroying themselves and are consumable. I think I already said that part. But like you can just say that you can't have more than X number of these. Or that's a thing that you can say out loud with your face.
The thing is that like even with the alchemists, you can make them useful items that just don't last as long as normal items.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You can give yourself heroism by drinking a potion, but it only lasts for a round, or maybe it gives you 2 rounds. Or there's like other bonuses that you can do. You know, you get wands, but the wands only work with 3 casts and then they immediately break. Like there are really...
Or like really cool like side effects of the wands. Like there's a DX chance that it breaks in your hand, or that it casts the spell at you, or that it casts the spell at a random target.
Or it casts the spell twice.
Or it casts a spell twice. Yeah, that would be cool. Like a wild magic for wands would be fun as shit. But they didn't do any of that. They're just, everybody has a pet now, and you can make some ancillary bullshit on the side.
Like the problem is that like even classes that you would consider to be like a pseudo pet class, like maybe a druid or a ranger.
Yeah.
The thing is with both of those, their probably strongest aspect is not the fact that they can have a pet.
The pet's like useful still.
Yeah.
The pet's useful.
And it's flavorful and interesting if that's the direction you want to go.
Exactly. And you don't have to have it at all, like the dream, but this is like literally a list of subclasses that are all just like, you want a pet, right? You want to be an alchemist with a pet, right? You want to be an artillerist with pet turrets, right? You want to be a fucking battlesmith that's all about defending people, but you're doing it with your pet, right? Do those sentences make sense? No, they don't. They really genuinely don't. And I don't understand who thinks that the class fantasy for all of these things involves a pet. That's nonsense. At level 6, your Iron Defender's melee attack becomes magical, and a number of times per day equal to your int mod, you can add damage when it hits with its melee attack, basically.
Okay, so similar to what you get at 3rd level, it's gonna get at 6th level when it comes to hitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think this is kind of a standard because about that range, you're getting things that are going to be resistance against things that aren't magical.
But it's also damagey and it's supposed to be a defensive class, and so we're going down that road again.
Sure. I just think that it's probably just trying to go with the scaling.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, yeah, you have a defendy thing, but if it's still just defending and can't, like, attack or... Because the best form of defense is a dead enemy. The only way to kind of go around that would be to make sure it has magical. So I get it. I think that this is primarily just a scaling thing and not
trying to change the way the class plays.
Exactly.
I'm with it. If you'd like, instead of adding damage,
okay,
you can choose a target, an ally within 30 feet, and heal them for 2d4.
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 At 6th level?
Yeah.
That's not a lot of health.
No. It scales at 14th level.
Yeah, when you get improved defender. So at 14th level, you get
way too high.
Yeah, exactly. So it goes from 6 to 14, and the addition is that your Archangel damage increases to 4d4. Also, when the Iron Defender uses its reaction, it does damage equal to 1d4 plus your intelligence modifier in force damage.
Yeah.
At 14th level, that's not a lot. Nope. And I get that it's supposed to be a defense thing, but...
Because it's a reaction.
Yeah.
If this was like the reaction class, like if it were like...
If it's reaction...
When you use a reaction, you get to do a thing, like any reaction. You know, I think that'd be fun, but that's not what it is.
I think a good reaction for a defensive class is if someone within 5 feet of you is being attacked, you can use your reaction to force that enemy to attack you.
Yeah. Or to attack another target.
Yeah.
Or any number of things.
Yeah.
Or just be like...
Something defending.
You are buffed with reactions. Like, if you use a reaction until the end of your next turn, you get stronger somehow. That would be cool, just like base a class off reactions so that you want to like be in that fight close.
Sure.
And letting people trigger those reactions so that you can buff yourself up for your turn and then just like dump on them.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that like... I meant like unloading a large amount of damage.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
All right, so that was the Battlesmith. I think the Battlesmith is probably okay. It's fine. I think the 2 new ones are fine. I just think that the overall direction that they're taking the Artificer is that they took one aspect of it and just forced that as much as they possibly could and didn't care about the overall themes that people would, that not only imagine those individuals subclasses being, but also just the overall character.
Yes. I think it basically what you're saying is like, if you look at any one of these things in a vacuum, it's okay, but we're not in a vacuum. Like, these do have implications. The Alchemist is a thing that has a flavor in people's eyes, and so is like a defensive battlesmith. And that's not what you're giving us, right? So like, I don't understand how I'm expected to even say these are okay.
Yeah.
I don't find them okay. I was expecting a lot more improvement and a lot less addition for this.
Well, when I saw that it was an update to the Artificer, I didn't think we were gonna getting 2 new subclasses. I thought they were fixing the old subclasses.
Amen.
And it wasn't. It was, those are fine, let's leave them the way that they are, even though that they don't fit the class fantasy completely, and they're both pet classes. Like, let's tack 2 more pet classes. I don't know. I think Krug asked the question a little bit better earlier. So why don't you head down in the comments and let us know if there is a reason why you feel that this is a good build. If you think that 4 pet subclasses is great, if you think that this is like, you like this fantasy, I want to very, very much hear from you why you think that this is a very good Because I want to be wrong. I legitimately want to think that I'm wrong in this situation and that we're overreacting, but I don't feel that we are. And so if you can come here and go to the comments and let us know why we're wrong.
And I would challenge you not to say, I like pet classes.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the right approach for this conversation. If you like pet classes, cool, like you're getting really lucky right now, but I don't think that's a majority of players. I don't think a majority of players like any one given aspect of the game, right? It's just like a lot of people like this and a lot of people like this and a lot of people like this, and it makes up a big community. Why is this helping a majority of the community? I don't think it is.
Well, and the problem with I like pet classes is that this is all the same pet class versus it being a pet. Like I think it's possible for the rogue to have a pet class.
Yeah.
I think it's possible for the sorcerer to have a pet class. I think
sure.
all of them could have their own subclass that was a pet subclass.
Yeah.
But I think dedicating an entire class.
Like the rogues would be all about like infiltration and gathering information. The sorcerer
Well, just
would
not
be
just
like,
that. It's like you could have little minions that work with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like your
little dudes that like set traps for the ranger maybe. Like some instead of like, oh, your trap occupies this 5-foot square, the minion places the trap for you, so you don't have to reposition yourself. The like untargetable minion plops a trap down somewhere advantageous that you can't reach.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool stuff that you can do with pets if you really want more pets in the game. Don't just take all these great ideas and tear them apart with pets.
Yeah. While you're down there in the comments, make sure to hit the like button if you like the video. Make sure it's because you like the video, not because you dislike or like the Artificer. Like, don't give me a thumbs down if you're like, the Artificer sucks. And they're like,
It's cute that you think you can stop it.
and then go and hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Hit the bell icon so you can get notifications for all of our future content. You can go over to Twitter and talk to me there. My name is Indigo, and you can talk to me at IndigoQT.
And I'm Krug. You can talk to me on Twitter at KrugQT. Legit want to hear from you about this.
Yes.
Like, this isn't like, oh, social media engagement. I really just want to talk to someone about this. You can also talk to all of us down here on these social media doodles. And until next time, we have been GameGorgon. Hopefully next week we won't be as angry. Bye.